Hello, I'm your host, Leonard Duncan. Welcome to a new episode of ATV-TALK, a motorsports podcast. Please join us every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We bring you interviews with industry professionals, live events, live news about the motorsports industry in every episode. Enjoy the show. Whether we are out riding with our friends and family or racing in extreme environments, we all need good tires. That's why I recommend GBC Power Sports Tires, a division of Greenball Corp. Their products, which include XC Master, Mini Master, and Groundbuster 3, are what leading professionals in the ATV-UTV industry are using. You can get your tires at greenballtires.com or find them on Instagram as GBC Tires for further inquiries. Are you looking for the best suspension technology for your sport ATV? Look no further than Elka Suspension, the industry leader in sport ATV suspension technology. With championship wins in prestigious events such as the Dakar Rally, SCORE, Best in the Desert, ATV MX, Cross Country, and WORCS, Elka Suspension has established itself as the go-to choice for athletes and enthusiasts alike. But they don't just stop at ATVs. They're constantly expanding into new markets, including UTVs, trucks, SUVs, pit bikes, snowmobiles, and more. Their commitment to innovation and quality means they're always looking to improve and adapt so you can enjoy a smooth ride wherever you go. Want to learn more about what Elka Suspension can do for you? Visit their website at elkasuspension.com or give them a call at 450-655-4855. They will always be happy to answer your questions and help you find the perfect suspension solution for your needs. Welcome to DBR Racing Products, the leader in 3D modeling and innovations. Since 2015, they have been revolutionizing the industry, starting with their groundbreaking YFZ 450R battery boxes. But they didn't stop there. They have continued to push the boundaries, constantly improving their design with each new version. In 2018, they introduced the game-changing Vortex EXO cage, specifically designed to securely hold the Vortex ECU in a safe and sturdy location. This breakthrough innovation ensures your ECU stays protected even in the toughest racing conditions. At DBR, they understand that every detail matters. That's why they also offer an array of essential products to enhance your racing experience. Their spark plug hold downs keep your engine firing at peak performance, while their LTR breather boxes ensure optimal ventilation for your machine. Their LT250 engine skid plates are a must-have for those seeking unmatched protection. Engineered to shield your engine from impacts and rough terrain, they provide the ultimate defense for your ATV. But that's not all. They've developed ProPeg mounts that allow you to use TRX 450R Nerf bars, giving you greater control and maneuverability on the track. To explore their full range of innovative products and learn more about DBR Racing, visit their website at www.dbratv.com. You can also reach them directly at 507-828-1233. Their knowledgeable team is ready to assist you with any questions or inquiries. DBR Racing Products, where innovation meets performance. Unleash the power within you. Logan Huff, welcome back to ATV Talk, man. It's been a while.
Thanks, Lenny. Yeah, stoked to be on here again, man. It's been a little bit.
Yeah, you've been all over. You've had a lot of things happen. Hey, one of my questions, though, before we get rolling, on 423, are you getting my messages?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. We got a little significance there with with your grandson and my injury record.
Right.
Injury record, I should say.
Right. you
Yeah,
know?
we're good though. Hey, this year was good. I can't remember what I was doing on 423, but I think
Yeah.
I went and rode just like, just because, like, just out of principle,
I told you to stay home.
Oh no.
You know what? Every time that it's getting close to his birthday, I'm thinking, I got to remember to send Logan his text message to stay home. you know,
Yeah. You text me and I was like, what? And then I was like, oh yeah, this is 423. I was like, what is Lenny talking about? And then I was like, that's right. Yeah, and you've definitely made it happen every year. So that kudos to you, bro. Thanks for having my back.
one of these days you look down and go, hey, it's 423. Where's my text? Oh, that old guy, he's not here anymore.
Oh, oh no, dude. That would not be good. That would not be good.
Unfortunately, that's going
Well,
to happen to all of us at some point. But
I know, right? Yeah, dang it.
let's hope
Gotta make the most of it while we're here.
right. Let's just make sure it's a long way down the road.
That's right. That's right.
Hey, so I want to get a little backstory on the recovery and everything. You had a shoulder issue. I don't remember if it happened from a multiple of issues or one big issue. I think it was one big hit, wasn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. Like I just had like one, I like cased a jump really hard. I like faced it. I was like, oh, I can case that safely. Anyways, my shoulder just ended up coming out instead. Like I didn't crash or anything, but that was a bummer. I was like, oh, that's crazy. And then um, like it came out like three more times after that, basically, and it was all from riding. And I like gapped it out a month between. I did PT for a good 4 solid weeks and tried to. It probably wasn't enough time, but regardless, I wanted to get it worked on, so I didn't have like a bad attitude about racing like the following year, and like just because I would be fighting an injury like right now, and and instead I got the surgery and it was good because I was eager to get back at it and just going through the steps of therapy and all that stuff. And yeah, I mean it was really good. They had me moving my arm like right around like 10 weeks. But recovery has been awesome. I've just been hard at it, like trying to not trying to, yeah. Well, yeah, trying to, man. Yeah, it's not easy to make it to the gym every single day and every week. And I definitely don't go every day, but go as much as I can. And now I've been riding a lot, and yeah, no, it's been good, man. I was thinking about it the other week, and I actually ended up doing uh so from like July 1st to July 1st, so like I did almost 30 race weekends. So that's quite a bit for me. Like I've never done that many race weekends in one year and like 1 year's time. And I was like, holy crap, dude. I'm usually just racing works, and that's like 9 rounds, maybe 11 rounds, like in some of the earlier years. But yeah, been busy. It's been good.
And that's great that you're busy. Works isn't the only thing that you focus your time on. I've been seeing you in some desert racing results, some night race results, and the big one is you've been traveling back east and racing with the cross country boys.
Yeah, yeah. I've been getting a little taste of everything. Like, and I even did the GBC Heartland Challenge, the 10-hour Heartland Challenge last year with
Oh,
Alex Ortiz. That was so hard, like the two of us, because like you can have three guys in the team, and we split that up at like directly in half. Like I think he got an extra lap at the end because he got a white flag and had to do another lap, but he finished it off that 10 hours. But holy cow, like that was hard. Yeah, a lot of racing, a lot of seat time, a lot of riding. And that's pretty much like this summer, like I've been strict on myself. Like I'm not doing any other races this like from till when the summer break starts. I'm not doing any more races like until WORCS in September, just because I just been building quads and working and making sure that I've got a practice quad, because that's been like one of my biggest I think that one of my biggest down negative factors this year. Like I just haven't had a practice bike until this last month. So I've been practicing a lot, and it's been a blast. Yeah, it's been good. Get back in my rhythm. Makes me feel like this is like what I do, when I'm riding a lot. So
And you have a pretty cool place to go riding.
it's good. Yeah, dude. Warner Valley, Sand Hollow, Fort Pierce area, like all of it. It's really good over out here. So yeah, and I just try and ride something different every day. You know.
Let me ask you this. So I'm fairly familiar with where you ride and the terrain that you ride in. It's more of a desert whoop rock style environment.
Mm-hmm.
What goes through your mind when you go back east and there's all those trees?
No, man. I've been making the jokes. I tell everybody, I'm like, man, I feel like every time I come up to some trees that I gotta like go between, I like come to a stop, pull out a tape measure, make sure it's wide enough, and I will go through the trees. But it's like, holy cow, like to hold it pinned through those trees and just to have them going by you. So like I'm still running like stock gearing for the most part out there, and it's all like second, third gear stuff. You'll get in a fourth gear like in some of the open fields, but I don't think I might have been. I'm sure I've been in fifth gear like once. I think I was in fifth gear one, but it's not often you're using those top gears at all. It's all like second, third gear stuff. So it's pretty awesome though, man. All off camber. So the last race, I gotta tell you, Mason Dixon, so many off cambers there up in Pennsylvania. It was going up, downhill, like side hilling, like all kinds of stuff. I ended up going up a hill at some point, and I think it was my third lap, and I got a little bit of vertigo. Like I didn't know if I was going up or downhill for like a split second. And I like quickly came to, but I was like, dude, that was crazy. Like I was going up this hill and I wasn't sure if I was going up or down. Like it was because it was just constantly up and down the whole day. And it was just gnarly because I was like 2 hours in at that point. Yeah, just getting worked. I did not do good at the last one. I got like 40. I think I got like 46 overall or something like that. I was back there, but it's still good though. I mean, top 50 in that PM race is gnarly, but starting on the second row, that's kind of falling back quite a bit. So one of those things.
The experience you get, I know it's not high speed like you do out here on the West Coast, but the technical form of it has just got to be unbelievable.
It has been, and I've been putting so much of that into my practice, like right now, like at home. Like I've been just kind of studying these XC1 guys and like, and Joel Hetrick too, Chad Wheaton, dude, all these guys, like they're riding so much farther back on the seat than like what I've been doing, and like not on the seat because they're constantly like hovering or standing, or they're just in a squat the whole time, and like just, and also kind of like little bit of Jet Lawrence, dude, he's shredding right now, like a little bit of that's got a crossover. So just kind of observing and doing everything I can on the practice side, and everything I've been going out east for has been like super helpful. Like it's definitely been challenging for me to not have a practice squad here because I sent one of my quads out there, so right. But now I've finally got one. Like we're building the program here. So now I've got one out here, and I've got a quad out there, and I'm building I don't have it yet, but I have all the parts and I'm getting it together, building the WORCS race quad. So building a new one. So then I'll have all the bikes, and next year should be a little bit better if I'm still doing the GNCCs. I just haven't been getting the practice time that I've been wanting, but yeah, it's been good now.
Do you think adding active training into your schedule where you're riding more and your physical, I'm not talking physical condition because you're already probably in really good shape, but just the fact that you're on the machine more is gonna make a bigger difference for you when you go back there?
Yeah, honestly, it would definitely, I think it would help out when I go back out east too, just being on the quad. The setup is totally different though. I mean, I jump on it though and figure it out. There's times out here where I'm riding my WORCS bike, my practice quad, and I'm just like, man, this thing does not turn as fast as the woods bike. Because the woods bike, I've got LTR, I've got like LTR geometry with the Hauser front end, and it's like lower, so they only run like 7 inches of ground clearance out there, so
Wow.
it's pretty low, and it makes sense because the thing's so dang narrow, and yeah, it's like I'm just trying to like learn as much as I can every time, and it's been tough because like, well, it's just everything, racing's hard, and that's why I like it. But it's hard to kind of like know. I don't know what to do, I guess. Yeah, there's no way to know what I'm doing going to each round, so I'm pretty much changing one little thing kind of every time on the quad as I go out there. But I think I'm going to try and get down to Florida and just ride the quad a little bit in the winter time, but and then do like a rebuild for next year, like round one, and like Big Buck or something.
Nice.
So,
Well, you're affiliated with the GBC, and they have some really good guys on their group. I'm assuming that you've hooked up with some of those guys for a little bit of tutelage and some help.
oh yeah, totally, dude. I'm bugging Johnny Gallagher all the time. And Corey, we've gone out and done a couple races now. We went to Horn Rapids last year for some quad cross Northwest, and also the Heartland Challenge. Corey got me to the Heartland Challenge. Corey got me out to the GBC tires. They got me out to the East Coast. They hauled my machine out there, so they just had a little bit extra room in the display trailer. And yeah, so he was like, yeah, this thing's come back out here, and it'll just go back out there, so we can send your quad out. And I was like, all right. So I brought it home, did the rebuild, and then sent it out, and it all worked out. Honestly, I almost didn't get it done in time, so I'm glad I was able to get it done. I knew I had to. I was like, dude, I can't miss this opportunity.
Right. I mean, it's gold
Yeah.
that you get to go experience that.
Yeah, I'm stoked, man. Yeah, it all came down to the wire too, because I had a works race the same weekend. It was round two of Delano. So I was getting my works bike ready, and I was getting my woods bike ready because I had to send it out that weekend. And I was all trying to figure out how I'm gonna get them both down to California. And I was gonna go to the GBC warehouse before I went to works. And yeah, so I just had to figure that out. And basically I just didn't have the room for two quads, like straight up. I was trying to do something, figure it out, but I couldn't do it. And yeah, so I had a buddy, my buddy Michael Coleman hooked me up, came down. He lives in Cedar City, and he was still driving down south on the 15. He was leaving a little late. I was like, dude, can you take my works bike to the race? Like, I'll just take my woods bike down to GBC, and I'll meet you there like midday on Friday just for that classified. And he was like, dude, I got you, man. And he came down that night and grabbed my work squad, and I was so stoked, man. It's like it's all those little things, that kind of go together along the way. And it's like, oh dude, yeah, I guess that's a little bit more solidifying that it was probably meant to be. So
Right. So we know how welcoming we are to racers coming from the east to the west. How welcoming were the riders from the east welcoming you out there to ride?
oh, so welcoming. Yeah, everyone is so helpful and just stoked out there. Like they live the race life out there. Like I know we do too, but I'm telling you, I mean, they definitely take it pretty seriously out there. So it's cool because there's I think there's a little bit more quad racing just in general out on the East Coast. Between, if you're not racing a national one weekend, you could probably go and race two different local series like the other weekend, and then maybe even hit a local series on the same weekend as a national. Like these guys will do like Saturdays and Sundays kind of thing, and it's like two different series at two different locations on one weekend. It's wild. So yeah, there's just a lot. There's a lot in. I mean, there's 9-year-olds with better programs than I got out there. So it's one of those things, dude. It's I've learned so much about racing in general, though. Like, and like why you got to be in it. Why? I mean, you learn a little bit more every year, man. Like every single year, you just learn a little bit more along the way. And as long as you're open ears, and yeah, dude, just going out and hanging out with all the guys. Like we all race quads and everyone's cool. Everyone's cool shit out there. So it's easy to get along with everybody, and we all just hang out and have a good time. Like I've met a bunch of people out there, and I've been stoked to even and help them out with flex bars too. Like I'm like, heck yeah, like dude, and there's a lot of bars out there. I was like, okay, like we've got a lot of handlebars out here. It's pretty good. So yeah.
I had no idea, did you?
Yeah, it's cool. That's a good feeling to just see it out there. And it's like, all right, like, cause you never really know until you go, you know. It's still pretty encouraging though, because like there's also we probably got like, definitely not half, but because like you get to that half mark, it's like, wow, dude, like between all these different handlebar brands, you got half of the field. It's like that's pretty gnarly, so but we got probably good like 30%. I'd say we're creeping up on that 30% at least. So I was pretty happy. There's probably a lot of Gen 1 flex bars out there, which kind of makes me cringe a little bit, but uh they're out there though. We got a lot of flex bar pads out there, man. A lot of guys on some fresh stuff and on some new bars, and got latest and greatest, and make sure everything's working good. So yeah, it's cool to see it.
So when you send photos back to the boss, it makes him feel better giving you the time off to go back there and race.
Yeah. Well, he's supportive. It definitely makes him feel better, but regardless, he's supportive, and like he'd let me go out there anyways, like they're all about racing, a fast company, and we're all racers there. Like I'm actually going into work late tomorrow. Sorry guys, I know we got a back order, but like I don't got parts, so we're not building bars right now. We're not gonna be building bars until Wednesday, but the pallet is coming in tomorrow. But me and Casey, we're gonna be coming in a little late tomorrow, and gonna be riding. So you kind of got to around here. It's like 110 degrees out right now, and so you got to get up early, get out there at 6 a.m., get your motos in. We'll ride probably till like 8. We make sure we're in the shop at 9. But so since we work 410s, we're usually in at 7 to 6. But we'll go in at 9 tomorrow. Most of the crew will be there. It's just we'll just be out. It'll be good.
Oh, put your moto in or motos in before you go to work. That's got to be a good feeling because you're getting it in, and you're getting it in a cooler portion of the day.
Oh yeah. My thing is that I just like I'll kind of push myself in the heat. I did get super dehydrated this summer 1 week, and I'll tell you that affects you for a couple weeks. So everybody be careful in the heat. I think for any heat training, I think it's kind of overrated. Like, I mean, if I live in the heat here in St. George, and I mean, just like our boy Travis Damon, dude, he lives out in the heat in Lake Havasu. Like, you don't need to do any heat training when it's hot, like just make sure you're getting outside, not totally babying yourself in the air conditioning, and you'll be fine, just make sure you're acclimatized and, not burn yourself out in the heat.
Dude, that guy's a beast. I see him carrying beams in the heat.
I know it. I think I'm like, dude, you got to be up at like 3 a.m. But that's a tough thing too, because like how do you get up? You almost can't get up too early because you'll be waking up the neighbors. You can't be out there hammering on houses before 6 a.m.
No, I
So
don't think you can swing a hammer until 8 in some places.
oh really? Wow. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, kudos to Travis, dude. He crushes it. Totally crushes it.
Well, I don't think the heat affects him really, because
Oh no.
yeah.
Yeah, if he's on the start line and it's a hot day, it's like, okay, there's no benefit here. Like he's on the same level. So he's probably on a gnarlier level because the heat there is just, it blew me away. So last year we went to Snowshoe GNCC. Him and Dane went again this year. I ended up going to Kenny Sanford's wedding. I just did not feel too bad about missing that race because holy cow, it is so hard on stuff. But it's impressive how hard, just because the water, all the water just gets everywhere. It's terrible. Anyways, yeah, it looked like, I'm sure it would have been a good time, but I missed it. I went last year with Travis and Dane, and yeah, it blew me away because I got there like on a Tuesday night at 11 p.m. because I left after work, And yeah, I was sweating so bad. I could not stop sweating. And it was like a solid, because it cools down here. When the sun goes down in St. George, I mean, because we're like, almost 3,000 feet. So it actually cools down. It'll be like probably mid 70s tomorrow morning. But like in Havasu, I guess. So Travis was telling me at like 4 a.m. when he was going to work, he said it was still like 96 degrees out. Like straight up just does not cool down. It's crazy.
Dude, that's why the guy's a beast.
Yeah, total beast. Yeah.
I mean, crazy,
It's awesome.
crazy.
And he's been putting it together too on the speed, man. Yeah. So I'm trying to step it up here. Yeah, it's a stiff field. Yeah, Braxton, Bo's always been good. He always will be. It's yeah. I was talking to him the other day where he's putting his hybrid back together. So that'll be good to see him messing with that. He ended up putting his TR, like his original motor, back in for like the last 2 races or something like that.
Well,
So
with a little bit of TLC and some good help, he'll be able to get that hybrid going.
yeah,
Damon adapted to that Yamaha pretty damn fast.
yeah, he did. He definitely did, for sure. The Yamaha's a good machine, man. I think it makes it easier to ride when you get on. It makes it easy to, not like easy to ride, but it's just such a good quad that the machine works so well. I think that it's something that kind of, it comes a little more natural. Maybe he was good on the TRX too, and he got on it though. So he's just good. But yeah, the YFZ was definitely a good machine. When I got, my carbureted YFZ was really good too, and I had it. But the day I got on my 2014 YFZ for 50R, that thing was next level with stock suspension. I was like, wow. I'm like, okay, this thing, she gets it.
So we've been talking a lot to the motorcycle guys or the motocross guys back east about the stock class and doing things to help promote the growth of the industry by not allowing too much modification in the beginning classes. I want to ask you straight up, what about putting a Saturday stock race or a Sunday stock class race, and that you guys race on Saturday in the pro class, and then put together a stock pro class so that everybody could run a stock machine, just like they would do in the like they used to do in the motocross.
Yeah, they used to do it at ATV Nationals, huh? They
Yep,
stopped.
and promote a manufacturer's cup at WORCS. Do you think the pro guys would want to participate in something like that, or do you think you could build interest? I know that there would have to be a purse for it to get
Right,
but
that would be the only thing, I think. Otherwise, I'm sure Bo would race it, and if Bo's racing it, I mean, I think we'd all kind of line up at that point. I think it would be good. I think it would definitely be good. I think it would be, if it wouldn't, the open class is definitely going to be more. It'll be more. I think it'll stay the same. I don't think anybody would move from the open class to the stock class, but like, you just hope that you get the same amount of guys in the stock class as you do in that open pro class, for sure. But it would be good. It would definitely be more riding. I'd be down.
I think that throwing out a 50-minute pro stock race on Sunday.
Yeah, I was gonna say 50 minutes, because not an hour and a half on stock suspension, man. That would be gnarly.
Yeah, you could even make it a 45-minute race. I mean, just
half hour.
Half hour. Come on now. But I think Nerf bars and a kill switch. There you go. Have fun.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, some bars. Yeah, bars, tires. I think you have to have a stock stem. Is that what they were doing in ATV Nationals? To get a stock stem.
I think that you're really need to look at the limitations on that and sit down with I would think that, you and Bo and Travis and Kenny and Cody and Braxton would sit down, and maybe some other people, with Randy and everybody, and form like a meeting to just sit down and just hash out the rules right there. Boom, you know,
Mhm.
lock it in so that this is what you can do, this is what you can't do, and tech the bike. And there you go. I know it's difficult on the motors where they would say what you can do and what you can't do, but you're not going to seal them. You're going to have, there's going to be a trust-based portion to it.
Yeah. Yeah. It'll kind of turn into that. You know what I mean?
I mean,
Yeah. A little bit.
if you get somebody that's normally a fifth place guy and he comes out there and drives away from everybody on the straightaway, obviously he's freaking cheating.
Yeah. Yeah. That would actually be pretty interesting though. I mean, that could pull out some different, could pull out some different leaders there, you know, on stock bikes, I guess, maybe. I think it could.
I think it would be fantastic because you can
It'd be a
still
lot of fun.
you could still race a stock Honda in that environment. The stock Yamaha is going to be a little hampered being so much lower in the off-road. But
Mm,
what I'm told, the Yamaha freaking works. So it would be okay. You're wider
it
than
does. I actually rode the stock. I actually rode the stock YFZ. I built a YFZ with stock suspension, and I rode it twice. And yeah, it actually ripped. I was like, wow, dude. I was like, because I like didn't do anything different with the motor. I built the motor and had it all like dialed in how I would with my normal practice bike, and I put some stock suspension on it, and I was like pretty impressed. I was like, dang, this is. I haven't rode stock suspension. That was this year, and it hadn't been since 2014 that I rode with the stock suspension when I first got the quad, because I got Elka Stage 5's stock travel stuff like right from the get go, because I knew I wanted to race. I was like, dude, I have to at least get shocks. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
so I got to do something. And that was good. I ran that all the way through Pro-Am, you know. Um, and yeah, but the stock suspension, I was pretty impressed. I was definitely pretty impressed with the stock shocks. I was like, dang, it's pretty good.
So it's something that everything's got to be done to promote and to move the sport forward. And that it's something that we've been having conversations with the guys on the East Coast and the ATV-MX. The conversations came up multiple times. Plus, we do a show on Sunday morning live on YouTube, and it's basically a talk show talking about the different things that go on in multiple different motorsports environments. But
Mm.
really been hitting it hard on the growth of the ATV industry and what we can do with promoters, what we can do with manufacturers, what we can do with the industry people such as yourself to say, hey, this is what we need. And let's sit down with the manufacturers and go, hey, this is what we need. Help us out. And in your situation, my situation, if a second manufacturer is going to come in and build a machine, there's got to be interested people are going to have to go buy it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. It just seems like I think it would be good. Like the racers would buy them for sure. You know, and I'm seeing a lot. So like, I mean, just being out here in Warner and Sand Hollow all the time, like I see a lot of people riding quads now, and I'm pretty stoked on it. I'm like, dude, heck yeah! Like taking the quads out, got their 400 EXs out there, got their, you know, Polaris scramblers, and you know all these old quads. I've seen some Yamaha Banshees, seen some good stuff out there, you know. And I'm just like, all right, you know, I'm stoked that these people are, you know, either you know dusting them off or they're going and buying some used units, you know, going and riding like actually riding like out. What, it drives me crazy when people tell me that they're going riding and they're jumping in a side by side going out in the desert for the day. It's like you are not riding anything, you are driving.
Right.
But
You're sitting in the passenger seat doing nothing.
yeah, exactly. There's no riding happening right now. But yeah, no, it's good to see people out on their quads, seeing guys out on their dirt bikes too, you know. But honestly, like out here, especially like I don't know, just out here, I've definitely been seeing more quads than I have dirt bikes. I'll see more dirt bike guys in the morning for sure. The you know the dedicated racers out there like got to get their seat time. But for the most part, like there's a lot of quad guys out here recreationally. It's pretty cool.
And since the whatever you want to call the hiccup we had in 2020, 2021.
Oh yeah.
You know, however you want to categorize that, I
Yeah.
believe the ATV industry has had a huge upswing.
Yeah, I think it has. A lot of people have been getting out, and and things have been getting a little bit more expensive. I think the side by side industry is going to kind of, it's going to kind of go and cater to a different, a different class per se. They're getting so expensive now. They're like 40 grand, out the door, 35,000. It's like, this is, like this is a lot of money now. Like going and buying a used quad doesn't sound so bad. To be able to take the kids out and go camping for the weekend and stuff like that. I think it actually would be a good time for the manufacturers to bring out their quads and get it done now. Like now that we're talking about it, like it's a little bit cheaper, more affordable market, So I think it would also help out the sport all around. I mean, if we had some manufacturers getting in here on some 450s, like racing would definitely, I mean, they would want, racers on them. So yeah.
Well, your recreational interest is going to peak too. What do you
Yeah.
think of the rule change for 2023 allowing the hybrid into WORCS in the pro class?
I mean, yeah, it's cool and all. Like, I certainly don't have the budget to do it, and I don't really know that I want to like spend the budget on building a hybrid quad. Like, just because like it's gonna be more fabricated parts, it's gonna be more custom stuff, one-off stuff. Like, one-off stuff to me sounds like it's harder to get, and it's gonna cost more money. And yeah, I just I don't know. And it's a design that hasn't really been like tested. I mean, some of them are really good though. I mean, if you can hang on to that thing, but you know, maybe Bo's looking for something a little bit more with that hybrid. And he was telling me that motor, he's all like, dude, that motor blows me away. He's like, it just keeps pulling in fifth gear. It just keeps going fast. I'm like, that's intense, dude. And like, it's crazy to hear that from him too, because his momentum that he carries, like all around the track, and like that's what it is, like that's such a big part of it. I feel like if I need to figure out, I definitely don't need a big motor, that's for sure, because I need to be able to figure out how I'm going to be carrying momentum through the corners and through the sections so that the quad's settled correctly and working. I still got some learning to do, so I don't know if it's worth spending the money on it, but I mean, it's cool. I don't know that it's really like, I don't know that it's like totally necessary, but I mean, if you want to give it a go, but I'm going to stick with my production Yamaha YZ for 50R, and it's going to make it every round. So
do you think that them going away from the production hurts Yamaha?
yeah, it probably does. Yeah, because it's kind of motivating these Honda guys, like, hey, like, let's keep running these things. Let's put a 22 CRF 450 in there. It's like, dude, why don't you just go get a Yamaha? You can go get a new quad, start fresh. I would be going crazy if my oldest quad right now is a 2017, and like, I ride them a lot for sure, put a lot of time on, but I would be going nuts if I had to be rebuilding like some old quad. It would for sure have to be a garage find and like something fresh, and like those are just getting harder to come by for those guys. I get that they got them though. I mean, I wouldn't want to switch either. If Yamaha came out with a new machine and it was like that much better, it's like, oh crap, like now I got to rebuy everything. Like, I'd probably stick with my old YFZR. So who knows?
Well, one of the reasons
Yeah.
the conversation about the hybrids comes up is I was talking to Mike Walsh about a 250 hybrid pro class.
Okay, yeah, sure.
So
That would be sick. 250 class, 250 hybrids. Let's go.
252 strokes.
Oh, that'd be cool. 252 stroke, 252 stroke. See, I feel like a 2-stroke in the YFZR chassis would be rad.
Well, the YZ 250. Your biggest problem with the YZ 250 is it's not counterbalanced. You'd probably make it like
Oh,
instead of a 250 class, you'd probably make it a 300 class because KTM's got the two-stroke 300.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
all your aftermarket TRX 250Rs, you can make them 300s.
Yeah, and you want a little more oomph with the quad, a little more weight you're moving around.
And you can build a complete 250R aftermarket.
That's true.
So
That is true.
he was all into it because that, I'm not necessarily a fan of a specific manufacturer, but they make this 300 carbureted motorcycle and fuel injected, and there's not a person I've ever heard say anything negative about it, whether they're writing articles about it or whether they're talking about riding it. So when Mike built this thing, I couldn't wait to talk to him about it, and he's in love with it. He thinks it's awesome. You still there, Logan? You lost me for a minute.
Yeah, I'm still here. Yeah. No, I think we're good. I think we're good. I was hearing what you were saying. It was so what was he wanting? I'm so sorry.
Customer,
What, like,
he built it for a customer, and they love it.
yes, 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 yes.
And it hasn't made it to, I don't think it's made it to the track yet, but that's their intention, is to race it in the XC. We're having a little technical difficulties at the moment.
I think it's a microwave.
Somebody's using the microwave.
My internet is so bad here. I think that made all the difference just now. I was telling you the other week, dude, I feel like we should have these phones figured out by now. How long's it been? When was the first cell phone?
Like 03?
Yeah, holy cow. Yeah, microwave's off. We're good.
So do you think that WORCS would ever be able to
Sorry.
do you think WORCS would ever be able to go to a pro program?
A pro program. What do you mean by that?
So
like just pro races or something?
So you'd take your pro race ATV pros and run like, the normal pro class, then a stock pro class, and then maybe adding a two-stroke pro class and running a pro event on Saturdays and then running your on Sundays.
I mean, yeah, if they structured it that way, sure. I don't see why not. I think that I think we'd still get a good turnout, as long as all the guys in the pro class are down to do all that riding. Because I just, and as long as we all have the bikes too, I would say that would have to be the thing, because I just know that not all of us have that, but because it is, because we're also their customers and we got to fill those seats, fill those gates, so it's
well, it's not all you guys. There would probably be other guys that would come in and race the two-stroke class. Maybe some of you guys would come in and do it, but you would
want some East Coast guys that come out. Heck yeah, it would be good.
You'd want to bring all of your pro-am racers. You'd bring them into the pro class in the stock class.
Oh yeah.
So you don't necessarily put them in the 450 class to race pro-am. You put them in the stock class and let them race that for a year while they're racing in their A classes on Sunday and developing that way, and then let them jump into the pro class when they elevate.
That would actually be really good too. It could be good. It's all definitely, however it's structured, as long as they're getting the entries, like I totally see it, being doable 100%. Yeah. And I'd say, yeah, hopefully we get some East Coast guys that come out and do some more riding, man. And yeah, I ain't trying to put them on the spot, but old John Glotta hit me up this week. Yeah, he's like, hey dude, he was hitting me up. He wants to come back out. And I was like, dude, I'm so bummed. Like, I hate to say it, but if you're gonna come out here, you gotta miss a GNCC because they're all gonna be the same weekends, these last 3 rounds. So I was gonna do Ironman, but I guess WORCS ended up rescheduling the Prim round. So I don't know what the deal was, but yeah, we're gonna be racing the last round in October now. So same weekend as Ironman. So is what it is.
That sucks.
Yeah, I told him, I'm like, dude, come out here in January and February, bro. I don't think they get started up till like March or like late February. So if he's got some time, we'll be sick if he came out earlier in the season. I think we got Honolulu Hills for round 1, and then let's see, round 2 is gonna be Prim. I don't know what's next after that. Oh yeah, E Street.
Isn't it Havasu?
Northern California.
Isn't Havasu third?
Yeah. Nah, I don't know. Honestly, I'm not too sure. But I know the first 2. I was telling John, I'm like, bro, you need to get out here. Like, it would be sick. We'd be stoked. He did good at Pram. Like him and Walker. I don't know how the start went, but I know Walker got out front, and maybe John was like kind of tucked in behind him, and yeah, they were. I mean, he wasn't far behind Walker, and he got that second place. So pretty cool.
I heard a little birdie in the chat talking about coming out. So I know that there's talk of people coming out, not from the cross country world. So
that was sick. Cool.
Yeah.
That'll be awesome, man. Yeah, I'll be pumped for more of them to come out and do some riding with some different guys too, key off them. Figured, I mean, you got nothing to learn to do, that's for sure over here. So I'm stoked to try and key off those guys for a few corners at least. So
I want you, if you would do me this favor, to hit John up. I've messaged him social media and everything. I'd love to have him on the show because he's really diverse. He's fast cross country. He does well in the motocross. I believe a couple times he's got top 10, or if not top 10, really close.
I think he's top 10. I think he's top 10 pretty consistently. I think one of them, he was outside the top 10 and he wasn't stoked on it because he's been in the top 10.
Right.
But like, yeah, he's been there. He's definitely doing good. Like I'm pumped for him. It's sick to see him doing all the different stuff. He was freaking sending this big jump in his story the other day. I was like, holy cow, dude. Because those jumps at those national tracks are no joke. Like they're so big. We had this triple that was like do or die at WORCS, like at the last race, and like I knew we could do it. I'm just like, dude, I'm freaking hitting this thing, like, and I'm just like, I just don't want to hit it first. So like, it was because it was tough. It was like a straightaway, and you had plenty of time for the jump, and it was like a short, pretty steep faced jump, and like it just got you a bunch of height, and the landing was peaked. It was like kind of like a supercross triple, but it was like there was a long straightaway before it, so it was super hard to time because you could OJ the crap out of it, and like there was a jump afterwards, so you had to time it right because you could land in the face of the next jump. And anyways, I followed Bo off of it and we cleaned it, but it was tricky, but it was the funnest part of the track the whole weekend. But those jumps out of the nationals make that thing look like nothing. Is like, holy crap, these jumps are next level. So yeah, be cool to. It was cool to see those. See Max Lindquist eat up that Huevos challenge that we had at not like the actual Huevos challenge, but they built up the Huevos challenge jumps at Prim, and we ended up using this as the pro section, and like we had to go through there without a sight lap, or anything, and yeah, like he went through there no problem. I was like, dang, dude, that was sick. Like just comfortable jumping,
Did you see his hands at the end of that race?
They were chewed up. Yeah. I was like, dang. I'm glad my hands didn't get like that. Crazy.
He told me, he goes, I'm 3/4 of the way on lap 1, and I knew I had a problem.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right away. That's gnarly. So he kept a good pace that whole race with his hands like that.
Yeah.
Wow. That's impressive. That's really impressive. I mean, my hands got pretty chewed up at Camp Coker this year at GNCC, and it's again just because I haven't been practicing. I've just been going to races, which it is not the way to do it, guys. Trust me, it's not the way, because you're just, it's like a shock to the system every time you go to the racetrack. And but yeah, my hands got soft because I wasn't riding regularly, and like I was like feeling them get softer as the year went on. And like when was Camp Coker? Was that like March or April or something? May. I think it was May. And then anyways, I was like, dude, my hands are going to get ripped today. And they did. I was like, man, that's a bummer. And they told me I basically like ripped my palm off. So not as bad as Max. So his were rough. I know that prim chop, dude.
Yeah. And he had told me he softened the suspension. He goes, oh, that's going to be just fine. No problem. And he goes, no,
It's probably still so stiff.
Yeah, he was way too stiff. And I listened to Walker talk about, well, I went soft and then we went really soft.
Yeah.
Enough.
Yeah. Him and Mark, well, not Walker, but Mark was in my garage changing Walker's shocks. When was that? Wednesday night before that WORCS race? Because they were staying at Corey's house and he's right down the street from me. So yeah, helped him beat us all, I guess, but whatever.
Hey, you know what?
They were gonna figure it out anyways, trust me.
You take Mark Notman and Beans, and I don't want to toot anybody's horn, other than myself, being a race mechanic and all, but Mark Notman is a 7-time champ with Walker Fowler.
Yes.
He's been number 2 a couple times, and he has other guys that have ran in the top 5, that he's building the machines. So this guy is no slouch as a mechanic, and you have to tip your hat to the guy.
Yes.
Super knowledgeable.
Yes. Yeah. I'm a big fan. Yeah. Huge fan. Lucky to call him a friend now. Mark is awesome, man. He, and like, I was just going to say too, like, he'd have been doing those things, and he would have been doing those front shocks in the bed of his truck with his hands without a vise. If he had to, he was going to get those shocks done for Walker. So it was awesome. I was like, dude, like, heck yeah, man. I was pumped I was able to help him because he's been helping me so much out on the East Coast. I'm like, yes. I'm like, yeah, dude, come over here. I got a vise and I got nitrogen.
And he's like happy, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, I was stoked. You know how that is, though. It's like, man, like, dude, he's always helping me out. And then I had that opportunity. I was like, dude, I was pumped.
Yeah, I am hoping that we can get this show mobile so that we can start bouncing around more and going to more stuff, because not being at the races, I mean, I traveled for a long time, dude, and
yeah,
not be there is actually really hard.
I'll bet. Yeah, I'll bet that's definitely tough. Like, hearing what you're saying right now, like, and not going, just missing like a round or two from like an injury. It's like, dude, why am I home this weekend? It's like, this is whack. And then, like, I'm sure, especially after it's been a lot of weekends for you now, like me just, going out to GNCC and, talking to some people and like here and there, like over the years, I'm like, oh, okay. Like you kind of you think you get an idea of what's going on out there, and what's happening at the races, but you just have no idea until you're there. Like, cause it's just, I don't know, it seems like every round months change, new people come in, like it's kind of wild right now. It works. Like it's a totally different crowd from like, not totally different, but like we've got our core guys, we've kind of been in it. Obviously everyone in the pro class, like we've been working so hard for so long, like we've been there for a while, but yeah, like everyone, like there's a lot of people that, they've only been racing for about 3-4 years, and it's like, dude, it's awesome to see. And like a lot of first years too, like this is my first year racing. I'm like, dude, that's so sick. I'm so pumped for them. Like I just try to keep them motivated, and like, dude, like, this is what it's about, man. Yeah, it's cool to see, it's so cool to see.
It really is. And And, on the other side, the home husbands, that have been home for, the last 30 years when I've been out doing my thing, having fun, hanging out with you guys at the races. I ask the guys that I know that don't have never traveled, this is their life. And I go, so this is what you do. You take care of the house and you do these things. And he goes, yeah, this is what we do. And I'm like, wow,
Man.
I really wasn't missing anything. I need to go back to the races.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd probably be I'd be saving a lot of money for sure. But I mean, dude, I feel like I'd be spending it anyways, somehow, some way. Probably be in a truck or something. Like, dude, it's a good hobby, and like I love it. Like, I'm gonna keep doing it. It keeps me working hard, gives me purpose on a daily basis, gives you something to work for. Like, you got to give yourself purpose. Like, I think that's what a lot of people are looking for, like a lot of people don't find their purpose. Like, and not to say that in a bad way, but like, it's just a thing. A lot of people don't always find their purpose in life until maybe later, or, and I feel like this is my purpose. It's pretty good. I'm fitting in pretty all right. I'm making it my purpose. You know what I mean? So, I think it's, you just, as long as you're working hard at whatever you're doing, like whatever's your jam, it might be canoeing, it might be hiking, it might go be, taking photos of flowers and stuff, like whatever it is, just go and absolutely crush it and, do the best that you can, as long, you got to have a hobby. Yeah. Don't just be cleaning the house. Don't be just fixing some pipeline, some plumbing, doing some yard work, unless that's your passion. I mean, yeah, sure. Go do some yard work. You know what I mean? Like, whatever it is, dude, just freaking work hard. Give yourself some purpose. That's where I'm at.
That is not my passion. That is not what I want to do. I want to go to the races. I want to work on ATVs. And
yeah,
I mean, I don't think that most people realize how addictive ATV racing really is.
Oh, it's a slippery slope. I think, as pros and just people in the industry, like that are working in the industry, making it all happen, this stuff needs to get brought to the light so others can hear about it. They know what's going on behind the scenes. They know what goes into it. And, it's a lot of hard work and passion, and, a lot of times that's overlooked. So, it's good for people to get to listen, man.
Well, not everybody knows where you've been and what you've got to do, because not everybody gets to follow and see where you're going. Your WORCS people know it works, but they may not catch that you got back to the XCs. They may not catch that you got to go to the GBC race. But we like to tell your story. But I don't want to be the guy writing your story for you. I want you to tell your story and let everybody see how passionate you are about the ATV industry.
Yeah, it makes it so easy to come on here and do that, man. Yeah. So yeah, thank you. Yeah, thanks for having me on, brother.
No, brother, it's my pleasure. It's always my pleasure and my honor. Brother, I will be in touch with you, John. The team here at ATV-TALK would love your feedback. Please email us at hello@atvtalkpodcast.com. If you're in need of a consultation for your current racing program, a custom ATV, or an industry guest speaker, I have the company for you. Duncan Technologies International Inc. offers host, MC, and guest speaking services at events, builds custom ATVs for recreational riding or racing around the world, and they offer consulting services for professional teams or individual racers. Send inquiries to duncantechinternational@gmail.com or call 619-716-1532 for more information. Thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, don't forget to share us with your family and friends. The podcast is available on all streaming platforms, and you can find us on social media as ATV-TALK Podcast. We're on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Rumble, and Twitter.